There are many warriors of all different backgrounds who take up arms against oppressors. The authoritarian forces of Solon, the Sigil Knights who enforce strict rules upon all within the land, favoring those in power, yet the ones beneath them squabble. That is when they raise their blades in retaliation. These powerful warriors, known commonly as great swords, exist for the sole purpose to fight oppression, to do battle against those who would direct them under strict rule. Among others, they fight until they are free. They would do battle against the Sigil Knights and anyone who affiliated with their order. Eventually, their war would end, and the remaining greatswords would diverge to their own paths, as they had reclaimed their freedom. However, some still seek more battles, and to reclaim the land from Solon's control. This zealotry to fighting against the god's forces would attract the attention of another powerful being. This entity was known as Arthur, the god of chaos and freedom. As these greatswords would feel nothing but pure rage towards the Sigil Knight order, the chaotic deity called out to them, drawing them into the tundra to seek out the one who could help them gain the power they needed to free those under control by the Sigil Knights, and to finally stop the tyrannous order. Their long trek would eventually have them reach a peculiar individual within a small cave. Their name was Abyss. The strange being sat in a small tundra cave, sitting casually as if they waited for someone to arrive, and little did they know that they were the one he was waiting for. He tells them that they must show their dedication by bringing back the skulls of the Children of Light. The greatsword's drive was a mixture of rage and determination. He had slaughtered Sigil Knights before, and now he simply had to show proof. Later in the evening, he slaughtered a small regiment of Sigil Knights, his colossal blade cleaving to their armor, the sheer weight of each blow causing the knights to falter. That night, he had left with the clean skulls of a knight and her squire. His honorable ideology of keeping his people free and safe had diminished to nothing but bloodlust and fury. Returning to the strange man, his final objective was to bring a torch to the top of the Church of Ardor, light a brazier, and wait to be called by Ardor himself. They did as they were told. Their desire to serve Ardor was now their top priority. Their need to defend the ones they cared for was now all but void. An ever-consuming rage filled their psyche with each step they took. This feral instinct slowly consumed them as they traveled all across Gaia, all the way to the Sea of Dust. And before they had realized it, they reached the church and climbed to the top. They lit the brazier, and a purple flame roared out from the wood, and from their mind they heard him speak. "Come to me, my child." Approaching the edge of the church, they craned their neck to stare down into the shadowy pit below. Slowly they lose themselves, and finally take the plunge, their body free falling towards the endless darkness. It is only then, when everything becomes black, do they finally see the truth. The greatsword opens his eyes to find himself within a swirling plane of chaotic energies, where an ever-present madness encompasses everything around himself. Every moment, he dwells inside of it. He can feel power coursing through him. He finally stands up and sees the same man from the cave, sitting on a couch. The greatsword approaches him, and they speak. "Welcome to the Legion, Abysswalker. There is no more want to free the oppressed. There is no more desire to fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. The greatsword that once sought to fight for a just cause has now devolved into a beast bent on absolute havoc. Every Abysswalker becomes this one way or another. Their inevitable fate is to become a horrid beast of death and destruction, a tool to be used by Ardor to destroy all those who exist, so that one day all can be consumed into the All-Dark. No longer is the greatsword seen as a figure who fights for freedom. They are simply an abomination whose single goal is to murder. There are greatswords not discerning from one another, even other Abysswalkers. As corruption slowly warps their minds, their humanity finally leaves them, and they are left as beasts of burden. However, among their endless fury, they'd hear a scream echoing from the far reaches of the sleeping forest, dragging them closer and into the depths, to where they may serve a higher purpose, to which this is unknown. In the end, when one becomes an Abysswalker, they are no more, only a feral beast, wielding a hunk of metal, too big to even be called a sword.